So now it's time to think of something that has to do with your imagination, like coming up with a comic strip, which some of you may have done, but you could start doing a story or doing a story. But with a storybook, you don't have just one page, right? You turn the pages. So if you're doing a story, you could get a few pages, like maybe 3 pages or 4, and then just fold them in half to make your book. And you could staple it like 3 places, 1, 2, 3. And then for a cover, after you're done writing your story, you can make a cover with a different paper, and you can glue it on to the papers like this, okay? Like that. I can show you that in a minute. But if you're doing a comic strip, then you want to divide it up into different sections. And then using a ruler, you can divide it up your paper, and you might have a comic strip that's actually more than 1 page, because comic strips sometimes are more than just a few frames. And then to get some ideas, you can think of like just freestyle writing. Just start down writing any idea that pops into your head for like 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Just even if it's like I'm bored or I can't figure out what to do, just start writing everything down that pops into your mind. Maybe an old memory will spark an idea, something that happened to you that was funny. You can turn it into something that was factual, but then turn it into something fiction. Something that's an unusual place. If you have a microphone, you can talk into a microphone and just say random things and get some ideas from your any ideas that just pop out of your mouth. Just if you start talking with random things, then all of a sudden some ideas might pop into your head. Or some people may have a story jar where they just write down words and put them into a little jar. Every day you could just write down some words and then pick out the words from the story jar and see if it sparks any ideas. Or you could make a fortune teller, and then on the outside of it you could put like the places, like desert or woods or ocean or city. And then on the next, when you open it up, you could put the characters, like an alien or a person or an animal or an insect or anything that could be a character. And on the very inside, you could write like who can time travel, or who finds some magic object, or who's lost, any kind of idea that you could find for your story. And then that little fortune teller will give you some ideas. Or you can take one fact from your life and turn it into fiction. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I made my lines, so you can, with your ruler, you could find the middle. So you get your ruler and find the middle, look at the number and find it in half. Mark a little line there, and mark a little line here, and then connect the thumb. So you find the middle, and then divide it into thirds. See if I can do that without measuring. Nope, I didn't. It's better to measure, but just to do it fast, I'll do it this way. Okay, then I'm going to show you the one that I've started. My story, I decided, is going to be called The Kind Dragonfly and the Greedy Starfish. So I'm going to make a circle for the dragonfly's face and add like little circles for his eyes and color in the pupils and put a big smile on his face because he's a kind dragonfly. And he's looking straight at me, so I'll put his body going back. Kind of gets closer together as it goes back. And then his tail would get closer together as it goes back. And his wings, he has big dragonfly wings. I could add more details to the wings later. And he speech bubble in there with a big oval that says, "Hello, starfish." And the starfish says, of course, dragonflies do not live underneath the ocean, but using my imagination, this little dragonfly is under the ocean. It kind of landed on a rock. And the starfish says, "Oh no." And there's a little speech bubble. Actually, he's thinking it, so make it like a cloud. And then over here, the starfish, you know why the starfish said, "Oh no"? Because the starfish had found a treasure full of gems. And this starfish is very greedy. So here's the treasure chest. I'm going to make it 3D. And here's the top of the lid. Here's all the gems inside. Diamonds and rubies. All kinds of gems overlapping each other. Overlapping is going to show there's lots of them in there. And there's a little snail looking on. And the snail is very surprised at what the starfish is saying. The starfish is shouting with capital letters, "That's mine!" And there's the little speech bubble with some wavy seaweeds in the background. And the dragonfly has a very sad face. You can add more details as you go along. There's his wings. His legs. So then the starfish grabs all the gems, wraps his little starfish arms around them. And I'll draw the gems in there. Here's his other arm holding on to them. And there's his legs, little starfish legs, and his eyes. He's greedily looking at those gems. And the gems are even covering up his mouth. And in the background, he's gone into a cave. So he's going to pile up his gems. Inside the cave. Here's the stalactite. No, stalactites are in ocean caves. And then here's the big cave with some light at the end of the tunnel. I could add that later. And here's the starfish lying on top of all his gems. Greedily lying on top of all his gems. Narrowing his eyes. And then there's lots of gems in here. I draw lots of gems. But along comes Mr. Shark. With lots of teeth. And he says, "Come see my gems." And the starfish says, "Okay." He's like, this is the back of the starfish. So this is the beginning of the story. And the shark looks like he's going to eat the starfish, but oh no, the starfish is scared. But in the next frame of cartoons or comics, the friendly dragonfly will come to the rescue. Okay, the kind dragonfly and the greedy starfish. So you make your own comics. You can make them as many pages as you want. And get the rest of my shark drawn. And I'll show you the next video in a minute.